Saturday night.
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture
With Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, pop culture kids. Welcome to the show. It is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. It is Saturday night, so you know how we do.
Yes, you know how we do. This is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. I am Kenny, and this is my sister,
Kathy.
There you go.
Wow. There you go. I know. Usually I'm on top of it like a horse, but I'm a little off today. So you know why? Because I spent all morning. I was cutting grass. Oh no! Let me rephrase that. I was cutting weeds because basically that's all I got. I got to figure out this grass thing, or just pay somebody to do it. I'm trying, but the information YouTube is giving me just ain't cutting it. So I got to figure out this lawn
I
thing.
know, like up here, it was very humid up in New Jersey this afternoon. So I know it was hot down south. I know it was humid down there.
Oh, it was ridiculous, and I was doing it between 12 o'clock and 2, which probably was not optimal.
No,
but when it's early in the morning, when it's cool, I can't do it because the grass is still dewy and wet. So I got to wait for it to dry out a little bit so I could trim it down. So yeah, me with the weed whacker, with the blower, with the mower, I was doing all the things. The only thing I didn't do, and I wish I had done, is I had this fertilizer. I didn't put that down. So
okay, what we need to do is we need to GoFundMe for Kathy so she can pay for lawn care. Okay, that's what we need to do.
My lawn care.
We need to set up a GoFundMe for Kathy's lawn care. That's
that's yeah. There you go.
That's what needs to happen.
Maybe so.
So other than that, your week was pretty good.
Week was pretty good. Hey,
my week was okay. I tried the other night because, as you notice, I haven't had my beard braided for a while. I lost my hairstylist, and I had to find someone new to do my beard because I tried to do it myself.
Oh, yikes!
And as you see, it's not done. Besides that GoFundMe for somebody to do your lawn, we're gonna have to get a GoFundMe so I can get
somebody to braid your hair,
braid my beard. Because in actuality, it's kind of makes sense and it's kind of convenient because this sometimes gets in the way.
Then just cut it.
No,
I'm just saying.
No.
When we talk about solutions, I hear you. I see you got your drink of choice. I have mine.
Yes, I have my drink of choice, water.
Agua. I'm doing at least.
I have a couple of different drinks going in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I have my my flavored water, my regular water, and my juice.
I just have water, and I've been trying to get like 3 of these in a day. So
I've been drinking a lot more water lately. I'm
on my 3rd one today, so I'm set. Because
before we talk about our topic, I do want to say one thing.
Sure.
We said something about doing some pop culture news, and what we haven't mentioned is that it is hip hop's 50th anniversary.
That is big.
Hip hop started. News. It was a determination that hip hop started on August the 11th.
Oh wow!
August the 11th is because that was the first party that DJ Kool Herc DJ'd and did all the hip hop stuff and the scratching and mixing and using the beats and stuff, and not just playing the record. So that was August 11th, I believe, 1973, maybe.
Okay.
It might be 73. It might be 75. I don't have the year straight. So if anybody out there knows the year, but this is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Now, on hip hop news, this came out this week.
Okay.
You know how artists do diss tracks?
Mm-hmm.
And they go back and forth with diss tracks. And I listened to this diss track because I was very curious because I met the man about a month and a half, 2 months ago. DJ Melly Mel came out with a diss track against Eminem.
Okay.
Much respect for one of the icons and the founders of hip hop. But no, it was not.
No.
It was not good. It was not good.
Mm.
I met him. He's a really nice guy. He's a really nice man. He's very open. He's very but that diss track, I don't know who in his crew told him to put that out. But whoever in his crew told him to go ahead and put that diss track out against Eminem,
Mm-hmm.
he need to fire them.
He
need to get rid of them. He need to get rid of the producer that was in. He need to get rid of the tech, the producer, everybody surrounded in that.
Just send everybody home.
Everybody needs to get fired.
Everybody gets home.
And then he needs to send a public apology out to Eminem because you don't look, man. I know, you don't want that Eminem smoke. You don't want that. Look, if I was I'm a poet and I can rhyme, and people don't know this, but I can rap also. I just don't do it. It's like a Quigley Down Under thing. Have you ever seen Quigley Down Under? They always
Never saw Quigley Down Under.
It's about a guy who's good with a rifle and he's good with a long distance rifle and everything, and he gets hired for that. And they say something about him being with a 6-shooter, and he goes, "I don't like 6-shooters much." At the end of the movie, somebody challenged him to a duel with the 6-shooter, and he wins because he's really fast. He goes, "I said I don't like them. That don't mean I don't know how to use them. So I don't rap. That don't mean I can't rap." And I've had to prove that to certain people. And if I walked into a rap battle, something like that, and I walked up on stage and Eminem was on the other side of that with a microphone ready to battle me, I would just like, here you go. I'm done. Like I'm not even going to try. It's Eminem. Like I know my limits. I'm not even going to try.
You're just going to give up and go home.
I'm just going to give up and go home.
I'm going to take all my stuff, all my toys, and go home.
Yeah, so I don't know what made Melly Mel think he could do a diss track with Eminem, but
not a good idea.
It was not. It wasn't even good, man. And I feel bad because Melly Mel it's Grandmaster Melly Mel. It's like you want somebody to win, and they really can't. But you're rooting for them anyway. But you know they won't lose.
And that's the case.
That was the case. So that's the little pop culture news that I have for us today.
Good stuff. Well, why don't you talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about tonight?
So tonight, what we're talking about tonight is, what we're talking about tonight is, we are talking about villains you love to hate. So there's always that villain that is so good that you hate him, but you love hating him because he's that good of a villain.
Aha. So villains you love to hate. It's those people who could pretty much what's the phrase they use? Chew the scenery or yeah.
Yeah. The villains that could chew scenery. And we went on TV and we went through movies. Okay. I can't even cite a list because I went to a whole bunch of different lists. And there was some villains that I've never seen the show that made the list, but some other villains people love to hate that I've never seen. I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
You know what? I think I tried to watch one of the first episodes, but it was all right. I'm going to sound like a major prude, but it was a little too Caligula for me. There was just a little too much sex and violence, and
there's a lot of sex in it.
Yeah,
told me that.
And I guess, and again, maybe that's a sign of just me getting old because I was just like it was too much, and you know what? if the story's going to be so complicated that I can't follow it, I just tap out. I don't know. There's got to be something to hold me into the story. And
Yeah.
I know there have been shows that have come and gone and people talked about and I didn't know a lot about them and I watched an episode or two, but I was hooked or I was drawn in and then I became a fan. But a couple
You
of
know
the
what? You know what?
phenomenons like
That
Game of Thrones, what was the other one, the British one? Bridgerton or
Oh
I
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
and
British is the best.
Downton Abbey. I
Downtown
never
Abbey.
really
Downton Abbey.
it's Downton, it's not downtown.
I know. I said Downton. I said Downton. I
Okay,
said downtown
okay.
first, but I
I
said
thought you
Downton.
said downtown.
No,
Uh,
Downton. Downton
but
Abbey.
I guess I can never get sucked in. So if
Yeah.
there's something I'm
Well,
missing,
it's
please let me know in the comments because I missed it.
now one of the things that's on this, I'm gonna tell you, excuse me, that I was never able to get into was Breaking Bad. It just never appealed to me.
You know what?
So
And that was one of those shows, and I don't think I watched I binged it probably during the pandemic and after I think the series run, because I don't think I saw any of the episodes while it was on TV. I think I watched it afterwards. And I absolutely loved it. And when you talk about uh villains you love to hate, you got to mention, Gus Fringe or
you know what?
Gustavo,
Let's get into
and
it. Let's do number 8, and then we'll go back and do the other one first. But
okay,
okay,
that
this villain
oh,
right
yeah,
here.
you gotta mention him, and I know when I did the little promo bumper, I put mainly movie, villains because we got one that's not on your list, but it's, from Harry Potter because you can't say his name, Voldemort, but, or you're not supposed to say his name. I think it's like a Beetlejuice thing, Voldemort, but but Voldemort. Oh, I better stop saying it because I guess 3 times and that's not good. But Breaking Bad, it took a minute to get into it, but Bryan Cranston is so unbelievably amazing in this series. He draws you in, and it is actually a good series. If you do need something to binge, I would highly recommend. If you have a what I call a lost weekend where you don't get much done, you don't wash the clothes, you don't get you just sit and binge on a TV series. Oh, do Breaking Bad. You are going to
Let me
enjoy it.
let me the actor in this Giancarlo
Esposito.
Esposito.
Mhm.
This is a guy who's had a career that has spanned years,
Mm.
and his acting talent. He's never played the lead character. He's always been that um, background character or that sub character or that co-star in different things. But has his acting is so his acting is above par. He is Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Sam Jackson level acting that hasn't gotten that credit. This man was in Do the Right Thing as
The
Bugging
right
Out.
thing.
He
Mm.
was a villain in The Boys. He was one of the villains in he's a villain in The Mandalorian. He was in The Maze Runner as a hero. Uh, this man was in so many different things. He was in Malcolm X. You know, he was in so many different things, and the things that I've seen him in, he's always done a good job. And he plays a good villain. And
Oh,
there was rumors of him being a villain in the MCU, in the Marvel universe. When the mutants come, there was rumors of him being maybe Magneto or something like that, or another villain. But he plays a good villain. He does so in The Mandalorian. He does so in Breaking Bad, of course, and he does so in The Boys because he was in The Boys also, and he plays this head honcho guy that keeps his cool and has everything under control and just like controls everything. You can't make a move without him. So the actor himself, and a lot of these roles that we have, these villains you love to hate, it's the actors themselves that make that role worth um, being that title.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving on to our next one from The Walking Dead.
That
Negan.
is my joint.
Negan is that villain you love to hate because Negan was one of the reasons I stopped watching Walking Dead because he was so bad that nobody could get away with anything, and it just made like, wait, this guy is stopping everything. This is no fun now. They can't do nothing like this. This is they're not just fighting zombies, they're fighting Negan. Like this is not. But I hear I've stopped watching it because my time schedule didn't let me do that every week. I have so many other shows that I watch, and I just lost interest. But I hear Negan now is in the spinoff series. But that bat.
You know what? Because I was a big time Walking Dead fan, and that was a show I came to late, so I didn't come to it. I think I came to it. I don't know what season they were in the prison, but whenever they were in the prison, I think that's when I discovered it and started watching Walking Dead. So I had to go backtrack and watch some of the early episodes, because, yeah, when Negan came to the scene and that one season finale that basically had people practically in tears. I was just like, okay, wait, I'm through. They've jumped the shark. I'm done with this series. But I stayed with it. But I think with the gap and production and things during the pandemic, I was one of those people that they lost, and
Yeah.
I didn't get it back. I didn't even go back for the end or what they were deeming the end. I know there's been series and spinoffs and other things, but they kind of lost me after that. So I never really saw what that final episode
I
was.
tried to watch it after Negan killed with the Captain Greg. Everybody knew who read the books.
Oh, by the way,
Everybody
sorry, wrong effect, wrong sound effect. I was just going to give the spoiler alert warning.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. But everyone knew who read the books that was going to happen.
Okay.
That's what happens in the books.
And
However,
did he kill the same people in the book?
well, in the books, he only killed the one. The other guy that died, he was supposed to die in earlier issues anyway. So,
Okay. So he was on borrowed time.
yeah, he was in bar time. Yeah. So the thing with it, and it was so brutal the way he did it too. Like it was, like I think that scene itself was brutal for TV.
Yeah.
It was just the way it was done. I mean, it was done in
Yeah.
front of his wife.
And
It
nobody needs to see a bloody eye popping out. That's
yeah,
just
it was probably too brutal. I tried to watch it after that.
uh-huh.
And the thing of it was after that came the character, the brother with the tiger or the lion or whatever. The brother's walking around, he had time to grow his hair out and get a tiger during his whole thing.
It was a pandemic back then. Like, I mean, it was a serious epidemic. So, hey, you didn't have time to go to the barber shop to get it cut.
I was like, you know what? The brother has a tiger. I'm good. Okay, I'm done. That was it. I'm like, he has yeah, I'm good. Okay. All right. I'm going on to CW to watch my superhero shows. I'm all the way good. So that was it. The next person we're going to talk about, a very popular show, Agent Smith on The Matrix. And the reason he's one of the people you love to hate, Agent Smith was a Halloween costume. It was one of the times where the villain is the Halloween costume, Agent Smith. So you had a lot of people be Agent Smith. Agent Smith was cooler than a fan.
Well, wasn't his costume just a take on, like, everything from Men in Black to the Observers on Fringe? It was just, Just a black suit, dude.
Yeah, it's a black suit. But you know what? It was more of his speech pattern.
Mm.
It was more of his robotic speech pattern. Like if a robot became a man, this is what he would sound like.
So now, speaking of Agent Smith, who was played by Hugo Weaving, who
Yes.
also was the voice of V in V for Vendetta. Now, would V be considered a villain, even though he's the hero? It's like some of the things he's kind of painted in the graphic novel as a villain.
Yeah, he's like a vigilante.
A vigil. Okay, so now now here's where we get to the good stuff. So vigilantes. So like the Punisher
Is a vigilante.
Okay, not a villain.
Batman is a vigilante.
No, what about Deadpool? Is he a vigilante or a villain?
He's a
Or
mercenary.
a hero or an anti-hero?
He's an anti-hero, but okay. Punisher and Deadpool are all anti-heroes. Deadpool is a mercenary, where Punisher is a vigilante. Punisher's family was killed by the mob, so Punisher goes after criminals in the mob. Deadpool is just a mercenary with powers. So he's a mercenary with powers who winds up doing good deeds and saving the world inadvertently because, you know, he gets in situations that has him saving the world.
Okay.
So it's a thin line, but Batman is a vigilante, but he's also a hero. He's a hero vigilante. It's a thin line. He's not. He threatens people and he scares the hell out of the criminals. But ultimately, they haven't caught on that he's really not going to kill me. Whereas Punisher will kill you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Punisher's a mess around and find out type of guy.
So now, what's Venom?
Venom is, okay, all depends on what Venom you're talking about. If you go to the movie Venom, the Sony version of Venom, that is not the Venom that's in the comic books.
Okay.
Okay, what Sony did, I'm going off a little tangent here.
Hey, go on.
Sony needs to turn Mother's pictures to the wall and get out. You know, Tom, you've been with the breeze and you break. You know, Sony needs to exit the superhero game. Stop making these superhero movies because you're messing it up for all the fans. Sony, if you can hear me, stop.
Sony,
you're not doing anybody. Sony made a Morbius movie nobody asked for. Sony made wow, who's the guy? Anyway, they made another movie out of a superhero villain that nobody asked for. They are horrible. They need to just give it up and let the properties back to Marvel so they can do what needs to be done with these properties. Also,
they do it right.
Yes. They need to let Spider-Man back fully over tomorrow so they could do what needs to be done for the fans, because you're not doing anyone any justice. Okay, you're not helping anyone.
So now, if the fans are okay with Tom Holland as their Spider-Man?
As the Venom?
Or I should say, are the fanboys?
No.
Who would they prefer?
Anybody else.
Oh, really?
Another writer. You know what? Sony needs to kill their version of Venom. Yeah, I understand. He's a good actor. But as the way they have the character of Venom is not the way it is in the comic books. It's not that it has to be like it is in the comic books, but they kind of made a joke out of it. They kind of did what they did to Venom is the same thing that Jared Leto did to the Joker. They just messed it up. Totally read it wrong. Did what they wanted to do. It's not good. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. I watched Venom. I paid for Venom 1. That's the only reason I set for it. But Venom 2, I watched it on. I streamed it. Yeah, Venom 2 it was on Stars.
There will be carnage.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
on
I
Stars,
saw that one.
and I watched it on Stars, and I watched the
Mhm.
first 20 minutes before I had to turn it off.
Oh wow, I
And
watched the whole
it was
thing.
so it was so bad it made me cancel my Stars subscription.
Ouch, ouch. That's not good.
Why do I have Stars? Why do I have it? Now I wanted to watch Bad Boys for Life, and I'm just gonna go buy DVD because it's only on Stars. So hey, you know what? Mm-mm. So anyway, moving on to our list. Our next is Hannibal Lecter from Silence of
Ah,
the Lambs.
with a nice Chianti and fava beans.
Fava beans.
I ate his liver.
Fava
Yes,
beans.
Clarice. Now that movie to me is one of the scariest movies. You know what? Because I don't need, I'm sorry, Ed, I don't need a lot of blood and gore to be scared, but that psychological thriller, that is scary. And again, what the director did with editing, that was scary. The whole thing with her like going to the door and the cut between them, and it was just
It's been so long since I've seen that movie. But what I do
building that
know is
suspense.
Anthony Hopkins. When you get someone like an Anthony Hopkins to be your villain, you know you're going to get a villain.
Oh yeah.
It's you know you're going to get. It's kind of like when you got Sam Jackson to be the villain in Invincible. You
Ah,
knew you knew you were getting a villain when you asked Sam Jackson to be this villain. You know,
although
very.
I don't know, I was a little disappointed with, and again, the 3rd movie, I believe, was
I didn't
Glass.
see Glass. I didn't see
Oh,
Glass.
you didn't see Glass? I'm
No.
surprised because to me, that those movies should be right up your alley because of the whole superhero comic book, theme. Aside from, like, a Marvel or a DCU, like, aside from those kind of movies, to me, it felt like a really real, reading of, uh, or a really real rendering of what comic book characters could be like in
Yeah,
real
and
life.
I'll be honest
Now
with you.
the 2nd movie,
I had the same
Split.
thing wrong with me. You're split. I had the same thing wrong. George always complained. My son George always complains about this because of comic books I read. George reads a lot of independent books. He reads a lot of books, and I'm the kind of guy where my superheroes had to have capes and a tights and a cape. I have to have the tights. I have to have the cape. I have to
You
have
have
the
to have
superhero
tights
dress.
and a
Yeah,
cape.
I have
Okay.
to have all that. Like I can't have a plain clothes superhero. And I don't know. I'm weird like that. I like dress up. And
Okay.
girls out, single women out there, I like dress up. But
Okay.
anyway,
Too much information.
but anyway,
Thank you.
but you know,
I keep hitting the wrong
that's
button.
why that movie didn't appeal to me as much to watch it. I will
Mhm.
try to see Glass because of that. And because hey man, it's got Bruce Willis and it's got Sam Jackson. I should go see that movie.
It's
So
worth the watch. I would also, like Split was the 2nd movie in that trilogy. That one to me was a little harder to watch, but I think you do need it before you watch Glass. So if you've not watched, I'm sure you saw Unbreakable, and
yes,
I don't know what M. Night Shyamalan is, Shyamalama Ding Dong. I don't know what he's doing lately, but I always liked his movies, and maybe that's just because I knew they were going to be set in Philly, which is just a scene that's so familiar to me. So, but anyway, hopefully he's coming
and,
up
and
with something.
Ed Brown's in the house. He's asking about the ultimate villain. The ultimate villain is on our list, and I know who you're talking about, buddy. The
Okay, yeah,
ultimate
we'll
villain.
get to the ultimate
The
villain.
ultimate villain is on our yes, he's on our list, Ed. He's on our list. But surprisingly, he's not number one.
Ooh,
He's not
oh.
number one, but he is on our list. So on our
Villains
list,
you love to hate. For those of you just joining us, it's Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on a Saturday night. Please support the show. The best and easiest way is to give us that thumbs up. If you are watching on Facebook, give us a like, make a comment. Also, check out the description if you want to buy us a coffee. You can always do that, as well as checking out our YouTube channel, Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. Find out more about the podcast at kathyandkenny.com. It's just that simple. kathyandkenny.com, all with a K, because that's how we spell pop culture. And we also like to shout out and say hi to our friends from 101.5 Who's Got Next Radio. You can hear us on there twice on Tuesdays, as we're part of the Who's Got Next family. So yeah, that's how we're living. So yes, we will get to the ultimate villain, as Ed has put in the comments. But who is next on our list, Kenny?
Okay, so next on our list is a very famous villain from back in the day, Jack Torrance from The Shining. This is Jack Nicholson at his best. Here's Johnny, which was actually an improv line that he did for that movie that stayed in the movie.
Because that is a famous line, because everybody who's anybody knows that. Oh, yes. I think that was one of the first on our list. And especially Ed is saying in the comments that he really hated Negan from The Walking Dead when he first came in. And that's because he wound up killing our favorite character. So yes, Ed, we do know Negan and that dang bat was definitely on the list.
That bat, which was that year. That year was a good. That year and the next year was a Halloween costume that everyone had. Negan and the bat, everyone had a bat. I've seen a few of those Negan and the bats. Little kids walking around with a bat with like fake spikes in it. It's sick.
And that I would just worry about. Yes. But yeah, that was the big Halloween costume that year. All right.
I think Jack Nicholson's role in The Shining, Jack Nicholson's role in The Shining, was one of those crazy people roles that helped cement his talent. Is probably one of the things that helped him. I don't believe was The Shining before or after One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I think The Shining was after. Wasn't it after?
Before. I think The
if
Shining
you look
was
at the
before
Jack
one,
Nicholson.
And help us out with this. I think The Shining was before One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and also too his role as the Joker in the Batman. So Jack Nicholson is known for being kind of out there, and he definitely proved it in The Shining. Next on our list, speaking of the Joker, the character of the Joker.
Now, and again, is it the Heath Ledger Joker? Is it the Joaquin Phoenix Joker? Or as you alluded to,
it is never.
It's never. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Whatever you're talking about, when you're talking about the Joker, when you're talking about live action Jokers, you're talking Cesar Romero. You're talking Jack Nicholson. You're talking Heath Ledger, and you might be talking Joaquin Phoenix, but you're never, ever, ever talking about Jared Leto.
Never. Okay. Which is a shame, because I first found Jared Leto on My So-Called Life. And if you've never seen this series, this is one of, I think there are about 3 television series that only lasted one season that were just so superb. You just want to cry that they didn't do a second season. And one of them is My So-Called Life. The other one is Freaks and Geeks. If there's a third, let me know in the comments. But those are some classic one-hit wonders.
That's a show. Shows that canceled too soon.
Canceled too soon, and those definitely were. But in any case, that's when I first discovered Jared Leto, and he was just dreamy in that. But I hear what you're saying, how his direction of the Joker, but is that his fault? Is it the writers? Is it the directors? Not just him?
Well, I hear that to get into the character of the Joker, he had a very weird way of doing it on set, because there was an interview with Will Smith, and they asked him, what was it like working with Jared Leto? And Will Smith's response was, I don't know. I never met Jared Leto.
Oh wow.
because
He
on
was
the
in
set,
character.
when he was on the set, he was always in character.
Oh
But he
wow.
never interacted with us. And he sent them strange gifts and things like that, like really strange. Like he sent them rats at one. Somebody he sent rats to. Somebody sent like
That-
a severed pinky.
You know,
Like he sent
and
them really strange gifts.
I get
So
the whole idea of being a method actor and being
yes,
like in character, and I get it. But I'm sorry. I
yeah.
mean,
This look.
I know I haven't done movies or whatever, but just even from the stage uh work I've done, I found it really annoying any of the actors who wanted to be in character off
Yeah, it is
stage.
annoying.
'Cause
I've been in
it's like,
stage productions too, and people want
yeah.
to be a character all the time.
Now, I can respect your process. Go have at it. But, and I think you do sometimes you do tend to take on some characteristics of your character. In the last play I got to do like some 3 years ago before the during the, like right before the pandemic
Right before the
was
pandemic.
Raisin in the Sun, and I played the mother. And even though I'm old enough to probably be somebody's mother, I didn't feel that way, but I realized I had to kind of take on that role even off stage to kind of, be not so much a mother to the cast because, these people had their own mothers, but you kind of carry yourself in that kind of role or that kind of way. I don't know.
I
But
I I was in a play once where I played the king.
mhm. Oh, it's good to be the king.
It's good to be the
Knight jumped the king. Queen. No.
yeah. It's good to be the king.
It's good to be the king.
It's good to be the king. Everybody jump the queen. It's good to be the king.
Rook jumped the queen. Bishop jumped the queen. Everybody jumped the queen. Anyway, we go off on a history of the world part one tangent. I tried to watch some of the history of the world part two.
I watched some of it. I have 3 episodes left. I still haven't watched
I,
yet.
I
It,
wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it.
it kind of didn't feel it for me either.
Yeah. So Ed is letting us know that The Shining was released in 1980. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was released in 75. So
Thank
One
you, Ed.
Flew Over the
I was
Cuckoo's
wrong.
Nest was first.
Thank you
That
Thank you for correcting me, Ed. Son of a
So we are talking about our villains you love to hate. Everyone from Gus from Breaking Bad to Agent Smith from The Matrix, Hannibal Lecter, Jack Torrance. We were just talking about the Joker.
And now we were talking about the actors for the Joker. The character of the Joker. I want to get into this because I don't want to lose it. The character of the Joker. He's a villain you love to hate because the Joker is a clown. He's a clown, and he can be underestimated, even in the comic books and in the movies. Even though he's underestimated because he has his clown makeup on, that's kind of his greatest weapon because Batman tries to tell people, even in comic books, look, this guy is dangerous. Like, don't mess with him. And people don't take the Joker seriously because he laughs a lot and he has his clown makeup on. But the Joker is one of the most dangerous. In the comic books, Joker is one of those guys, when he walks into a room, other villains with power, they treat the Joker like the other superheroes with powers treat Batman. Batman walks into a room in the Justice League and everybody's like, yeah, that's Batman. Like, don't mess with him. Like, he don't have no powers though. I know he don't have no powers, but you can mess around and find out. You can look, you can mess around and find out, and you could be like one of the people in Montgomery and just get beat down. So you could go ahead and do that. Joker's the same way with the villains.
Mess around and find out.
Mess around and find out.
They're going to
Joker's
put
the
that in
same
the
way
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, Joker's the same way with the villains in the DC universe and even the DCU universe. Like, they don't want to work with him. They don't want to mess with him because he's unpredictable and he's dangerous. And he will kill you like that without any reason.
What I didn't always understand in the Batman and the old TV series is the difference between, I knew that they were different characters, but the Joker and the Riddler. Like, why would you even need 2 different characters for that?
Okay, well, see, the Joker, okay.
What is the difference? Okay, here you go. What is the difference between the Joker and the Riddler?
Okay, the Joker is very intelligent, even though he doesn't act like it. He fakes you out with that. The Joker is a guy who's very unpredictable and very smart, which makes him very dangerous because you don't know what he's going to do. The Joker has no method to his madness at all. None. The Riddler is about riddles. He's about puzzles. He's about trying to fake you out with his genius. That's the whole Riddler's thing. So there's a big difference. The Riddler isn't a clown. The Riddler takes his smarts seriously, where the Joker doesn't. The Joker doesn't want you to kill Batman.
Okay.
You know why? Because that's his job. If you kill the Batman to the Joker, if you kill Batman, now you've taken away all his fun. So if you kill Batman, Joker's got to kill you because you took away his fun. That's how the Joker thinks. He's crazy.
He's crazy.
I understand that makes me crazy, but that's another story altogether.
That's another story altogether.
Okay, the Riddler is smart. He wants to outsmart you. The Joker doesn't want to outsmart you. He just wants to have fun and kill people in the process. There's no method to the madness.
Now, hey, Ed Brown asked if we mentioned John Doe in Seven, and we did not. And
I have never seen Seven.
Oh, what? Oh, Kenny. Hold the boat. You've never seen Seven?
You know, a couple of weeks ago was the first time I seen The Bronx Tale.
Oh, you just saw The Bronx Tale?
I just saw The Bronx Tale, and I loved it.
Oh, yeah. The Bronx Tale is excellent. But, okay, anyway, before we go to Seven, we probably should have had one villain on there. Well, people don't love him anymore because he got canceled or whatever. But speaking of Seven, Kevin Spacey, right, at one point was having a streak of like playing the villain. Everyone from Kaiser Sose to the killer in Seven.
And Lex Luthor.
He played Lex Luthor?
He played Lex Luthor in the worst Superman movie ever made, Man of Steel.
So, and again, it's coming from Ed.
You know what?
We have to take your pop culture card.
You don't take my pop. I'm KP. I'm Kenny KP Walker Jr. You don't take my pop culture card.
All right. Let's move on to the obligatory point in the show where it must be mentioned. And in fact,
the villain you love to hate. Number 3, Hans Gruber. Yes. Hans Gruber came into this very smooth. You didn't know what he really wanted. You didn't know he was just a bank robber. He was just a robber. He was just a thief. But he came in a suit. He came in very smooth. He came in like he was super intelligent and everything. And all he really wanted was money. That's all he wanted.
That's all.
That's all he wanted was money. He didn't want that fan. He didn't want those prisoners freed. He didn't know who they were. He just read about them, and he saw them on 2020. Read about them in People magazine. He didn't know who they were. He didn't care. He wanted to get those douche marks down there. He wanted to get that money down there. He wanted to open that safe. That's all he was worried about.
Now, again,
the actor who played Hans Gruber was what is his name? It slips my mind.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, who also played another villain we love to hate because he was the villain in the Robin Hood movie.
He was the
Kevin
villain.
Costner.
Oh, okay.
He was Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner. You know, the English movie where Kevin Costner was the only one who did not speak with an English accent.
Because he was,
and Alan Rickman's most famous line as the Sheriff of Nottingham was like, I'll tear your heart out with a spoon, and the next scene, cousin, why a spoon? He's like, because it's gonna hurt you, dolt. And he's like, but he was that villain. He was crazy in that as a Sheriff, and I loved his portrayal of the Sheriff of Nottingham because he was kind of crazy. He was kind of out there. So Alan Rickman is from, and a lot of the millennials know him from Harry Potter fame.
Oh, yes.
But in actuality, Die Hard was his first time on a movie set.
Die Hard.
Die Hard was his Alan Rickman.
That's right. He was a stage actor, but
yes,
yeah, Die Hard was
his first time on a movie set.
Hey,
was totally
before we move on to our last two on the list, I just wanted to show a few honorable mentions that I know we talked some DCU. Thanos came up in a lot of the lists that I looked at as a villain that we love to hate. And I wanted Q on there because I was just such a Star Trek Next Generation fan.
Was Q really a villain?
Yeah, I know. When we talked about
really a villain, like I don't see Q as being a villain.
That's true. He didn't come up on lists, but he was one of those I thought that you liked him, but he would create such mischief that
Q was like Star Trek Universe's version of DC's version of Mixoplick. And Mixoplick is a Superman villain who's an imp from another world who comes in and just like causes mayhem.
Yeah, well, Q was like that on Star Trek, and it was just fun. We also wanted an honorable mention for $1 million.
$1 million.
Dr. Evil, who again, the Spy Who Shagged Me was just making fun of those kind of James Bond movies and such. And there's probably a whole list. We could do probably a show on James Bond villains, but
wait a minute now. And the Spy Who Shagged Me, is it Dr. Evil or the villain we love to hate is Big Fat Bastard? I love my baby. Hey, you, baby, get in my belly.
Get in my belly.
Get in my belly.
True. But again, all voiced by Mike Myers, so how could you not love him? Yes. But I just wanted to give a shout out to those honorable mentions before we go to number 2 on our list of villains you love.
Key the ominous music. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, I actually had music for this episode and I never turned it on. I'm such a
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
A villain we love to hate.
Definitely. You love to hate.
Darth Vader, voiced by James Earl Jones, does not get the Father of the Year award because he tried to kill his kids. He didn't even do it when it was easy, when they were like babies or something like that. He waited till they were grown and could defend themselves. And say, come on, let's fight. I'm gonna cut your head off with this light.
If he would have killed them as babies, that would have been even more biblical.
True.
Somebody said that there's a TikTok or a video comparing the Barbie movie to Wakanda, like on the Black Panther.
Yeah,
basically.
I saw that. I saw
that. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that TikTok. Yeah,
I haven't seen the Barbie movie.
Let's not diminish
because I don't know whether I could go to a movie until the strike is over. But I don't know. I might have to break down. I'm hearing so much about it.
Next week I'm going to go see Blue Beetle. Next week I'm going to go see Blue Beetle. I can go.
I know. You know what, Ed? I would think Darth Vader would have been number 1 as well. But again, Kenny does the list. I just work here.
The next person I chose is number 1. You know why I chose this person as the number 1 person? Because I feel like the term villains you love to hate started with this character right here. Villains you love to hate. J.R. Ewing from Dallas.
Oh, yes.
The man you love to hate. J.R. Ewing. J.R. Ewing did so much. I remember the one episode of Dallas where there was a big fight and everybody was in the fight. All the brothers, even the stepbrother was in the fight. J.R. hit under the table.
He just stirred the pot. I think when you're talking pop culture, he's such a pop culture phenomenon because I think that one summer they ended the season with him getting shot
Yes.
And there was not a TV show, a commercial, or that didn't reference something about who shot JR.
Yes.
This was
Who
like
shot JR? This is the character that you
this
love
was
to
like
hate.
obsession
like
TV before we had the Thursday night lineup, before we had must see TV, before we had MTV. We had people wondering who shot JR.
Yes, who shot
Probably the
JR?
biggest phenomenon we had on pay TV.
Yes.
I mean, not pay TV, free TV since Roots, because that
Yes.
just really kind of, I think, really stirred.
I think they hit even more nostalgia back in those days. Back in the day, the actor Larry Hagman was on I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes.
Another actor that was on TV at that time was Tina Louise from Gilligan's Island. And she was on Dallas at the time, so I think she was she the person who wound up being the one who shot him? Was Tina?
No, it wasn't. It was.
Because I know she was a character that was up for, like, she could have did it.
No, I remember. God, it was one of those actresses with 3 names. And Lord, I could not remember.
It wasn't Victoria Principal.
No. It was, the character's name was Christian Shepherd, but the actress was Mary Crosby, and she pulled the trigger because that was the big question of who shot JR. Was it his wife? Was it his brother? It was a whole big thing.
But it didn't matter because Bobby woke up and it was all a dream anyway.
Well, no, I think Bobby's death and him waking up from the dream, that was after JR was shot.
That was that. Okay, no, Pam woke up. Victoria Principal's character woke up and everything was a dream. Yeah, Pam woke up and it was always a dream. Victoria Principal, who was America, like at one time was America's sweetheart until Andy Gibb passed away, and she was kind of blamed for that a little bit by the family. So, for his suicide or whatever he did to himself. So, but she had a romance with Andy Gibb, and then he, passed away, and they kind of said, she wasn't a good person. But hey,
I don't buy it. I don't believe it.
I don't buy it.
She might have been only saving grace. It's like Janet Jackson, marrying that DeBarge kid.
Yes.
Might have been the only thing that kept him from really dying.
Yeah.
That whole family, that's just, I'm surprised we haven't seen a DeBarge biop because, I know they did a behind the music or
they did behind the music, but a DeBarge movie would probably be really good.
That would be.
I think a DeBarge movie would be more interesting than the Jackson 5 movie that we had.
I think so.
I think the DeBarge movie would probably be more interesting because they're still going strong and they're still getting in trouble. So you still got more material to go. I'm just saying.
Oh, but there was something about that group Switch. Oh my gosh, they'll never be.
They'll never be.
I'm
a grown man.
I'm a man, baby, a grown
man.
And I got. Oh, anyway. Now I'm really
long way.
Can I come a long way? Since we are lying here for the first time, you and I. Anyway, you're gonna have me going off. Now I gotta go hit my Spotify up, listen to some Switch. And this wasn't even a music show tonight. We were talking villains. All the villains that you love to hate. We tried to squeeze them all in. Everybody from Hannibal Lecter to Hans to Dr. Evil to Negan to Gus to the Matrix. We got everybody in of all the villains. That
you know what another villain I was thinking
and
about?
All the people who play the Joker that Kenny hates. So we've hit it all here.
When you said Gus from Breaking Bad, I was thinking of another villain from a Disney movie that we love to hate, and that's Gaston.
Who was he?
Gaston and Belle, Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Gaston, the good-looking Gaston that he's got the muscles.
Oh, okay. I don't know whether I would consider him a villain we love to hate. I probably would put Cruella de Vil in there before I put someone like him.
She was on a couple of lists. I've never seen 101 Dalmatians.
Oh man,
I don't think I have. I might have when I was a kid.
You know what? Take the card.
Wow.
Take the card.
Wow. Is that just like that, huh?
Just like that.
Just
Well,
like
you know what? What takes the cake is you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We do this every Saturday night. We pick a topic. We talk pop culture. Next week, we'll be talking about celebrity good deeds. Some of the things that have been done, or have they? Or were they just staged events? We don't know. We'll speculate and take our guesses. Hope that you can join us here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. That's where we hang out, all under Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. You can check us out online at, I put the wrong banner up. I meant to put up the webpage, which is Kathy.
Well, that is true. Kenny. Well, that's not true, too. Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but go ahead, put the right one up.
Okay, I'm sorry, wrong banner. KathyandKenny.com is where you can check us out. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next Saturday night. Peace.
God bless your soul and keep living. Peace, and a special prayer and peace out to the people in Hawaii.
And that should be, is it? Here we go. Aloha and
aloha.
All right.
Yes. All right now. God bless you all and keep living. Peace.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.